as a Black woman, didn't actually know that I hated different parts of myself until God revealed them to me. Wow, this is a really heavy topic, and I think as people of color, it can be, I think a lot of us don't want to accept or admit rather the struggles that we've had with racism and the way that it's impacted the way that we may view ourselves and view other people who look like us. I think many of us are like pretty solid with admitting the racism done to us and how others might view us and stuff like that. But in terms of admitting publicly or just even in like other group settings, the impact that that's had on how we have maybe looked at ourselves in an inferior way, or maybe there have been different parts of ourselves that we've actually not even known that we hated, but we have hated, or maybe we have known that we hated, but we didn't really want to admit it. That's a difficult conversation. And everyone has their own journey of realizing it. But I felt like it would be helpful for me to kind of share my own. And keep in mind that this is just one piece of my story. Of course, it's like the layers are so deep. But mine is actually with my hair. So, as a young girl, I remember my mom really loving on our hair. We would have, she would do like all Sundays was like her doing my hair, my two sisters' hair, and it'd be in some form of braids or whatever that hairstyle was. Usually we'd have beads, which was so fun. And everyone at school, you know, would be enamored with it for one way or another. Either they were tokenizing it or like maybe they like genuinely liked it. I remember my mom saying like affirmations of my hair. You know, as a Black girl, you get to have your hair in so many unique hairstyles that, you know, quite frankly, white girls don't. Like, they just have their hair up or down, 2 pigtails or 1. But for you, you get to have your hair in braids, you get to have your hair in an afro, you get to have your hair in curls, you get to have your hair in 2 buns if you want. You get to have your hair in zigzags, cornrows. Like, there were just so many different things, like different creations of hairstyles that she put us in, and every week was something different. And there was that love on that end. And as I got older, I was like, wow, I want to actually start straightening my hair. And my hair was so long from the way that my mom treated my hair, because it would always be in protective styling. And then it just got all burned off. But I also noticed I got more compliments when my hair was straight. I felt this pressure to also straighten it because I felt like it was more professional to straighten it. When it came to like special occasions, I would straighten it. You know, and it got to this point to where it was like a every 2-week thing. I remember my dad actually starting to pay for me to go to the salon and it being this like whole experience. And when I got to college, I was continuing to do that. By this point, I had a perm on my hair for like at least 10 years. So I didn't even know what my natural hair texture was. I was thinking that my natural hair texture was the perm texture, which sounds so sad, but that's the reality. And it was kind of wavy when it got wet, and I was like, yeah, like I could wear my hair wet, but like I thought that was my actual natural hair texture. It had been completely ruined. Yeah, and I remember sometimes I would put it in braids, like extension braids. Yeah, because it was just like I knew how to do that and I looked cute, but I would never do that for like a special occasion, like graduation or an awards night, I would always have to take it out, go to my hair salon lady, and get my hair straightened. And I was so frustrated because my hair was not growing at all. And eventually I got to the point to where I was just so frustrated, and I was like, actually I'm not going to perm my hair because that's problematic, but I still want to straighten my hair because then it can get back to its natural state. So it was like, okay, like I'm growing in one instance, right, where I'm not trying to permanently straighten my hair. But then even within that, I noticed I was still going every 2 weeks to straighten my hair, even though I wasn't getting a perm on my hair. And I would tell people, like people would ask me and I would say, well, I don't like having a perm on my hair because it can never get back to its natural state. But while I don't mind my natural state, I prefer it straight. Or I would say, oh, it's easier to manage, or whatever the case is. And looking back at it, it's like that was a lot of internalized racial oppression and racial trauma that I was dealing with. That at that time, I didn't even know that having that response actually signaled that. And again, just with my jobs and stuff like that, I just felt like, okay, I needed to look professional, I needed to look the part. And it was just, I don't know, like I had all of these different expectations of like what the politics of respectability were. Yeah, it was a lot. Fast forward, I had hair breakage and I didn't even know that my hair was breaking. Like, I just thought that was normal because again, this is just, it had gone on for so many years and I didn't know what my normal curl pattern was at all, never seen it. And I got frustrated at this point. Again, at this point, I didn't know that I was experiencing, essentially hating that part of myself. I just prayed to God and I was like, okay, Lord, like my hair is not growing and I need it to grow. And I also know that you have laid hands on things and made them whole. So I'm gonna do the same with my hair, right? So I was coming at it from like a faith perspective, and like God completely like showed me like how my hair pattern was when I didn't even ask. Like he showed me a vision of how my hair pattern was. This was all before I cut it. And he told me that I needed to cut my hair, and then he also gave me a vision of like how my hair would be, how long it would be, and all that stuff. And at this point, I haven't straightened my hair in probably about like 3 years, and I cut it off about 2.5 years ago. It's pretty long at this point, but at that point, it was like Halle Berry, okay? Like I cut everything off, didn't know what my hair pattern was at all, curl pattern was at all, and I remember the first week was hard because I felt like I looked like a boy, and I was like, I like my curls, but I don't like the length. And one of my friends actually was like, we've been told as women to, that like beauty, that you're more beautiful when you have longer hair. And that really stuck with me. And then I was just thinking about what that meant for Black women with tighter curls. And then it was just like, wow, like that's so much socialization that I've internalized that has resulted in me having a hard time right now looking in the mirror and embracing the fullness of who God's made me right now. Yeah, that's deep. So, I remember a few months later, a few folks giving me like compliments on my wash and go. And I remember talking to my Bible study and I'm like, I like the wash. The wash feels good when I'm washing my hair, putting my deep conditioner in, but the go I don't like because it was shrinkage. And I just wanted to cover it up. I did. I felt ugly. I didn't feel good. There weren't a lot of images in my childhood and in my early adult life that told me that that was beautiful. And while I was okay with other people doing it, and I would encourage other people. Doing it myself was hard. And that really caused me to examine like the deep level of pain and trauma that as a Black woman I had experienced. And even though I was doing the work of racial justice, I didn't realize that there was still a part of me that I hated. And if you would have asked me, Marlysa, do you hate yourself? I'm like, no girl, I don't hate myself. I love my skin, and I absolutely do love my skin. Oh my gosh, I think my skin is just radiant. Radiant. I don't have that issue. I think it's beautiful. I did not think this was beautiful. But even asking me that, I would have been like, I love my hair. I'm fine having it curly. I'm fine having it straight. I wear it straight most of the time because it's easier, but I don't hate myself. No. And I support people who want to wear their natural curls all the time. That's fine. I don't look at one as better than the other. And that's what I would have said. But the fact is that that's not true, because my actions proved otherwise. I straightened my hair more often than I wore it natural. When I said I'm gonna get my hair done, it was always referring to getting it straightened. Never getting it in a protective style, never getting it in a natural curl state, nothing. What did that do? It reinforced the fact that when my hair is not straight, it is not done. So I never say, at this point forward, I don't say, oh, I'm gonna get my hair done. No. I'm just going to say, oh, I'm getting my hair in this style, because my hair is already done, period. The way that God made it is done enough. But again, these are just signs of me internalizing that trauma, and I had no idea until I actually walked through it, and God was able to do such a good work on me. God was able to really allow me to affirm the beauty that He made in me. He made my hair a beautiful 3C/4A texture, and that's beautiful. And my hair is healthy when it shrinks and when it bounces, and that's beautiful. And my hair has body, and that's beautiful. And my hair doesn't do well when it's straightened, and that's also beautiful. I just wanted to share with you all, because again, like when we're talking about racism, I think it's so easy to kind of like talk about like some of the overt racism that we experience, or even lean on talking about systemically, but I don't feel like as people of color we take enough time to think about the way that we've been traumatized. And as one of my friends told me, like I believe that God allows you, if your heart's open, God allows you to peel back those layers. There were times in my life where I understood some parts of my trauma and some parts of my pain, and other times where I didn't even know that I was experiencing that trauma or pain until God revealed it. And this was one of those areas. And I'm not gonna say that that was the last area of hurt or pain or unconscious hate that I've learned, because we're born into a system of racism where we learn to basically hate ourselves. So it wouldn't surprise me if there are other areas that I don't even know yet that God's going to be revealing to me. But I hope that this encourages all of you, that you can talk to God, that God can reveal that to you, that when you realize something about yourself, for you to stick it out and just look at yourself in the mirror, as uncomfortable as it might be, whether it's your hair, whether it's your skin, whether it's the beautiful lips that you have, or the beautiful nose that you have, or whatever other attribute, physical or cultural, whatever that might be, that you seek healing in that area, and that you no longer become afraid of admitting that as people of color, one of the things that we have to deal with when we're talking about racism is our own trauma. And to give love and care to yourself as you're doing so. So I hope that was helpful. I'm praying for all of you. Until next time.